Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of the F1 Agenda podcast. I'm your host, Dan, and today I'm joined by Blackwall.
Hello.
Simon.
Hello.
And Lambrex.
Hello.
And today we'll be talking about the 2018 German Grand Prix, and I think we can all agree, thank you for the rain.
Oh, thank God we've got the rain.
Exactly. It created such a brilliant finale to this race.
Yeah, God bless the rain down in Hockenheim. That was
For the actual local hero, he had probably hates it right now.
I don't think Sebastian Vettel blessed the rain down in Hockenheim.
Nah.
and I think the only logical place to start is with Sebastian Vettel, considering the race he had. And I'm normally I'm quite critical of a lot of drivers, but specifically Sebastian Vettel because I think that he threw away.
No, I mean, you personally hate Sebastian Vettel, but
no, I don't. I hate him as a racing driver,
hate.
not as a person. But like this, this crash, he'll look back on it and he'll sort of rue it, and he'll be very annoyed if he loses the championship by 25 points or whatever. But it could have happened to anybody. It's a pretty innocuous crash, that could have, because it was literally just a case of braking on maybe a small wet patch. And the car locking up. It could have happened to anybody.
If you look at it, you can see how he tries to keep on braking and braking and braking and braking and braking.
Yeah, he was desperate, and then I mean, it was inevitable.
Yeah, in those conditions, it was just a lottery, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You saw so many people having incidents. Like Leclerc did a full 360.
Leclerc.
I mean, good save to actually do the
beautifully.
Beautiful. Yeah.
He just got a place in the casting of Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
What a save that was.
And I
think the most spectacular thing about that 360 was that it was a complete 360, no extra degree basically. And the way you just plant the car and get it going and nothing happened was spectacular.
I think those weather conditions really were sort of the most exciting sort of weather conditions, because it's sort of the conditions where the driver really makes the difference.
Yeah. So it wasn't 100% wet that you had to go on inters, because there was still half the track was dry, and then it wasn't raining long enough to completely wet the track, and then it just stopped again. Then it started again. It was just people were just stuck there going, do we go on inters? Do we go on slicks? What do we do? Do we stay out?
Do we go on full wet like Gasly?
I mean, that was the ultimate gamble.
That was a gamble with a capital G.
No, all caps and at least 3 exclamation marks.
Exactly.
It really was remarkably stupid, quite frankly. I know we sort of joke, but I'm not.
Inters was a gamble. A full wet was. I think did they just pick up the wrong tyres?
I mean, I just don't know.
I feel like the weather conditions was a bit like when you sometimes have an F1 2017 the game, where you think it surely must be inters now. It's the slick tires are just better still. It's is this a limbo between it's not wet enough for the inters, but it's too wet for the slicks.
And that's where the driver makes the difference, as Lambert said.
The driver makes a difference, but so does James Vowles.
Yeah.
Because again,
made up for their recent strategy errors by doing a pretty good call.
Yes, because I've been shitting all over James Vowles, quite frankly, because and the whole Mercedes strategy, because they've made a lot of mistakes. But that was utter genius.
That was very
really was.
Yeah. Getting on fresh ultras in the slippery conditions was a masterstroke.
I think that's the thing you can do only with people like Lewis Hamilton, because it only relies on the skill of the driver. Driving on a humid turf, as I'll say, on a brand new ultra soft is tough, because people like Vettel on softs. I think he was on softs.
Yeah, he was on softs.
Yeah, kudos to the Mercedes crew, and kudos to Lewis.
Yeah, I mean Merc were kind of in the optimal position, because in these kind of conditions Hamilton kind of thrives in when it's kind of wet, just becoming wet, or just on on the like tipping point between wet and dry, he always seems to really perform.
Yeah.
It's a trait. It's a trait with British drivers.
Yeah, that's what
Because
Yeah,
they
but
race
the
so
bottom was the
much.
same.
I guess
You know,
it's because
Jensen and David Coulthard were very good in the wet, and
It's
you know,
because we're used to so much
we
rain.
used to, we used
Not
to
this
try.
summer, but you know.
Vettel isn't the biggest slough in wet conditions either.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
He just got unlucky this time.
He
Yeah.
just get unlucky. you know.
It just the track fell away right. Like I think the time where Vettel really, actually why I had a crash was probably the track was at its worst in terms of the wetness.
And you know, he's the first person to get to that point as well. That's
Yeah.
That's the
difficult thing.
problem when you're in the lead. You're always the first to test the conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why being behind is always an advantage, because then you can just see how the other cars ahead are performing. You can just go, right, I'll slow down here, then I won't go off.
And the thing is,
Absolutely.
like, he's not the only driver who made a mistake. Like, you've got people like Verstappen. Verstappen didn't have the same like mistake, but I think he ran off in 10.6.
yeah.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
intermediate tires
lot
on.
of people ran off in turn
Yeah.
6.
Then
And
you had
the
Sergio
point into
Perez.
someone was very odd.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. You had
It didn't
Sergio Perez
really matter, but
No.
like
did something.
it was odd
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they took that one risk a bit too far.
because
Like,
it was like
they
it
saw
was,
Sauber put the Inters on and go, yeah, they know what they're doing, let's do that.
because it was Inters for maybe like the first sector by the time the rain was at its like worst,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the middle and the last sector was pretty much like sort of just spitting.
Especially
Or
the
drizzling.
sector 3 was if it wasn't worth it for sector 3. Just put
Yeah, it
the
wasn't
filters
right.
on.
Like, you gain time in Sector 1, but then you lose that and even more in Sector 3.
Yeah.
Well, I think Hamilton, when he was on Ultrasoft, was pulling fastest first and third sector
Yes,
compared
Yeah.
to people on Inters. So the second sector was into worthy, I guess, but like the others, no,
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
not.
I think it's important that we sort of frame this weather conditions with a look at the Ferrari team orders thing that was sort of,
Controversy.
well, not really, because they were different strategies, and I think Sebastian Vettel lost that race because of not being let through early, because he lost command of the race, and obviously he still could have crashed, but the thing is, like, he lost his sort of control and like sort
Yeah.
of comfort,
Yeah.
and
the
that
gap
makes a
came
big
down
difference.
by so much that when he got in front, he was pushing so hard to build it back up again.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's still at the lead though. He's like, it's
Oh no,
not-
but like not by as much, and
Oh,
I think it was
yeah.
more mentally as well. Like he sort of
Yeah.
lost that rhythm.
Yeah, being stuck behind Kimi, like a lot of racing is about rhythm on how you get into a race and such.
Exactly,
How,
it's
and how
quite
you
right.
drive. Like you get into a rhythm, you do the same thing over and over again for most laps. But when you then all of a sudden you go from the lead and then you end up behind someone, especially a teammate, that's really disruptive because it's the same machinery. That sort of means that you get your rhythm breaks up, and then once you pass again, you have to get back into this rhythm, which can take even more laps because you got into a different rhythm. Now you have to use a new rhythm,
Mm.
and it's this. It's so important to get the rhythm in
Yeah.
as early as on as possible.
I did find the team orders a bit quite funny when they were the Ferrari was seemingly trying to do it in the most inconspicuous way possible, just like Kimi
The
is
nicest
behind
way.
you with some fresher tyres, and Kimi's just like, do you just want me to get out of the way? Kimi just knew what they were asking. Just say, look, just tell me what you want me to do.
Kim was like,
corners.
Kim was like, hey, yeah, just tell it to my face next time, please.
Don't sugarcoat it. Just tell me to get out
Well,
of the way.
yeah, I get the feeling they were a little bit sort of wary after Hockenheim 2010. They didn't really
Yeah.
want to re-invoke memories.
Kimi Sebastian is faster than you.
Yeah,
Do you understand this message?
and for me that ruined Sebastian's race, and then because that also let Hamilton and Bottas close up
Yeah.
quite significantly.
Yeah, I think that was a major problem. That's why they had to get higher, like more senior members in to tell him, please let Vettel past.
Because I think Vettel may well have been able to get almost back up to pit stop ahead of,
Oh,
of
yeah,
Hamilton
yeah.
before he even pitted. So
And that could probably also mean that Phil didn't have to push as hard later in the race.
exactly.
Where he still was within the pit window.
Because I think Vettel was pushing because he realised that Hamilton could have realistically won that race even without him crashing.
Yeah.
Because he was that quick.
Yeah, and Phil knew he still had to try and push to at least make sure he had a full pit stop's worth of gap. And
Because I think what was really telling as well, even in like the last few laps, Hamilton was setting blistering fastest.
I think it was from 50, 58, 59, 63, and 66. He said fastest out of the race. That is that's 4 out of the 6 laps for the last 10 laps of the race.
He was very, very quick.
Yeah. And,
It's like he just tried to get to the end before the rain came.
Oh yeah.
Well, I think that might be a nice segue to move on to the completely ridiculous controversy.
Oh god, yeah.
And
The
like
pit lane incident, or what wasn't an incident, which then
not
became an
incident at
incident
all.
about 2 hours after the race.
Yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, like I've been watching Formula One since 2009, and I've seen classic races, from the past, and I am quite certain that I've seen drivers do that at places like the Hungaroring and the Nürburgring and the Spanish Grand Prix, completely without getting a penalty at all.
Yeah.
Something tells me, like I remember, like Mark Webber doing it and Nico Rosberg doing it at some point. It's just not a big deal.
No, it's definitely one team that have pushed it, because also the race control did see the video. It was shown multiple times from actual replays. They said nothing.
Yeah,
Nothing
it's like
in
the
your
FIA themselves said it wasn't worth investigating, so they just didn't bother.
It must have been some team of the race saying, "Hey, this can't be right. This must be illegal in some form of way."
I think it could
But
be
like-
because it's not usual, but it's not penalty worthy. Penalty worthy.
No,
It was
Like it had no impact whatsoever on the race.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Unless slowing him down.
exactly.
And
he didn't gain anything. It was under safety car. He couldn't have gained anything anyway.
like he slightly broke the rule. Give him a reprimand. Don't do it again.
He did break FIA rule. That's the only rule he actually broke. That was
But he
what
didn't
was
break like the event code. Like
no,
that's
no, and I think that's what many seems to go wrong, at least on Twitter and such. So like people thought this was something. People didn't read this wasn't about the event code. About it was actually about just the general, like the FIA spawning code, which was being processed about. He technically broke.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something, and there wasn't anything about the actual event or how the track or anything about the actual event itself. It was just a general rule that applies to all FIA events.
Yeah.
Like this same incident could have happened in F3, and it could still have been investigated.
I think
Even
it's
though
all,
it hadn't been
it all just
invented.
needs to be cleared up, really.
Yeah, it really needs to. It's so vague.
Mm.
I think that this just sort of shows Formula One maybe should just tighten things up a bit. And as well, there's a fantastic quote from the race director Charlie Whiting.
Oh yes.
Which I will try and find quickly, and it really reminded me of Donald Trump. It was, it could be Russia, could be others, who knows.
It could be nothing. It could be a 5-second penalty, 10-second penalty. It could be disqualification.
So
Who
here's the
knows?
Charlie Whiting says he was going to come into the pits, but he actually didn't come into the pits. He could get anything: a reprimand, a 5 or 10-second penalty. Like that just sums it up. Really.
Charlie could literally just go like spin a wheel and see what penalty you get. Do you get a
You
disqualification?
feeling lucky, punk?
Do you get 10
Exactly.
seconds, 5 seconds, or full disqualification? Let's see. Spin the wheel.
It's kind of the way it feels like penalties are being dished out at the moment.
It does a bit, yeah.
We discussed in previous episodes.
It basically just like they're okay. We have this incident. Let's spin a wheel.
Right, it's the same as what we've had previously. Nah. Spin the wheel. The wheel will decide everything.
Well, I've got to tell you what, like, I know I'm a Southampton fan, but I'm very happy that the race result wasn't changed after the flag. It's never a good thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter
Yeah.
how it happens, it's never
Especially
good.
like the timing after that. It's like 2.5 hours after the race.
Like,
Yeah.
the thing at Kota last year was fair enough, because that was, like, before the podium.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
Like, if you get the race result changed after, like, 6 hours, that's just ridiculous.
Also, what happened in Coda last year was like what 1 or 2 laps to go. Still was one at a time to actually make a decision before race end.
Mm.
So
Like with this, it was like what 10, 15 laps before the end.
oh yeah, like I think it was like 15 before. Like
Yeah.
about 15 laps before race end. Fellow crashed.
Mm.
And then the final controversy of the race weekend, Mercedes team orders.
Mm.
I wouldn't say
I- I thi-
controversy.
I wouldn't call that
I
controversial.
think lots of people were quite angry that like they'd done it.
I think
Like
that's
for me,
more like conserving your cars.
yeah, like for me, they let them race on the first lap. Hamilton came out on top, and they were just like, okay, we've done it now.
But I mean, here's the thing, like, you know, this is no comment on Bottas's driving ability, because I think if he had better luck, he would be probably in the hunt. But
Yeah, he
the
would.
fact is, his championship is over. He will not win the world championship this season. I'd be
Yeah.
willing to bet my savings, which is not very much, but I'd be willing to bet that
Yeah.
that he's not going to win the championship this year. But Lewis Hamilton had the chance to go from a 8-point deficit to a 17-point lead in the driver championship. They were
Exactly.
never ever going to let that go.
And to be honest,
So it was completely the right thing to do.
Whatever way around they finished, they were still going to take lead of the constructors.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to like, safely bring the cars home. There's no point risking the cars when you've got a 2 secured.
And
I
I
feel
think
like-
I think Bottas understands that as well.
Yeah, and he was
feel
very
like,
yeah.
calm on the radio. Like it was like, okay, what we say? I think he said like
Uh,
clear.
It just said copy, James.
Yeah,
Yeah,
copy.
he
just got on
Okay.
it.
He's like,
Yeah,
okay.
even after the race, he just said, "I understand where the team's coming from."
Yeah,
Like he's seeing it
yeah,
from
and
their point
I
of view.
feel like I understand why Ferrari and Mercedes did the team models. Of course,
But
it
tell
is
you
a bit
what.
disappointing to have to go to that, but I understand why they did it, and it's justified why they did it.
If you go back to the Hungarian Grand Prix last year, where Lewis let Bottas through on the last lap after he gave him the chance
Yeah,
to come back, I think that just shows a little bit of team harmony. Bottas
Yeah.
understands that it's a team game far
also,
better than Nico Rosberg does.
I would say take the same race. Kimi could have just passed Phil whenever he wanted to. He decided to
yeah.
stay back. Like I feel like both. I feel like the two driver parents, Phil Raikkonen and Bottas Hamilton, are quite close to each other, like internal
Yeah.
and team. And I feel
Yeah.
like they know each other as well. Both Kimi and Seb has this very social media shyness. If you can tell that. Kimi a bit less now with his Instagram, but like especially Seb who has no social media account on any side, which I find amazing how he still managed to keep that up. But I have the utmost respect for the fact he decides to say I don't want to do that. I don't feel the need to do that.
Yeah.
just to come back on the team order things, I think for Bottas' sake, it could have been like not even overtaking Hamilton, but just like keeping the car very close to his was good because like that's gonna give him a boost to his morale, and like he's been always a bit behind this season, when he doesn't have luck. But
Yeah.
I think it's better for him
Yeah,
just to give him a boost and like, okay, I can compete with him.
yeah,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
knew he
Yeah.
could do it.
yeah. He can. Like if the both of them have like if Hamilton has a good day and Bottas has a good day, he can definitely be up there with Hamilton and compete.
Definitely.
Well, anyway, who's to say that Lewis wouldn't have driven away anyway?
True.
Because
Exactly.
that looked like, Hamilton was very quick. James Vowell said hold station, not fall back. So,
Yeah.
Mm.
I think it would probably just still ended up with the same result,
But
honestly.
yeah, not fall by too much, and you saw you have Raikkonen right behind you.
Yeah.
That's kind of like you should look like tough four finish within like 10 seconds of each other. So Bottas couldn't fall so far back, or he would be in the grasp of both Raikkonen and Verstappen.
Exactly.
I think that's enough for the,
Yeah, I think
the
that
top two teams.
ends our talk about Ferrari and Mercedes. We should probably move on to Red Bull.
pretty dismal weekend again for Red
Yeah.
Bull.
I mean,
It's not really got much worse for Ricardo.
Makes of weird choices and just really bad luck, really.
Yeah.
Has Ricardo started 19th due to taking 2 new engine elements.
Yeah, like Red Bull
who-
took
who-
the penalties here so they wouldn't have to take them in Hungary where they're expecting to be more competitive.
Yeah, and then Ricardo decides to go and retire.
And then Ricardo's car fails.
Yeah, and with the power unit problem, I think there may be something of the electronics. Looks like it.
Mm.
And yeah,
Was there a
Verstappen just having weird strategy choices. Like, I think according to at least what the lifetime in the official lifetime wrote, he went on 2 sets of inters, changed from inter to inter. Don't know if that's
Really?
what was true, but at least that was what the tire graphic showed on the lifetiming.
Yeah. That's weird.
Which seems like a really weird choice to do.
Yeah, I guess with the whole Red Bull going to Inter thing, I guess that was like the only risk, the only thing they thought they could do to get like Max into like trying to win the race. Like
Yeah.
It was a
in the
sort of-
dry they would never win. In the wet they knew they'd have a chance, so they thought,
yeah,
right, there's rain, let's just put him on the Inter, see if we gain something. If
Yeah.
not, we've got a massive gap to 5th, so we could probably just pit anyway, even if it goes wrong.
Oh yeah, no, like when by the time they did that, like 5th was so far behind them.
I
That
think
was-
Max was like what, a minute behind?
Yeah,
It was
almost.
like 45 seconds behind, something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
I think
just like,
you know,
just like Silverstone was like another kind of like so weekend for Red Bull. They just weren't really there.
Like,
yeah, these 2 tracks they're never going to go well at though.
Yeah,
you know.
this is why they were like
Also-
setting up for Hungary because they know they can do
It's-
well there.
It's also showing that Red Bull is solidifying itself as like the 3rd best team now. The gap down to the midfield Haas, Renault, and such is very big. However, the gap also up to Mercedes, Ferrari is also a big bit and probably Red Bull would have hoped for.
And I think it is genuinely that is all the engine.
Yeah.
Probably,
They still have the
yeah.
best chassis.
Yeah, because you saw like in this like middle sector, Red Bull were the fastest.
Like if you look at them through
No, not
like,
middle,
the-
first and third. Sorry.
if you look at them through the Sachs curve, for example, like I've never seen a front end that glued to the
Yeah.
to the road.
Yeah,
In
the
terms of
red
aero,
thing-
Red Bull are up there, maybe
Yeah.
even the best. But in terms of engine, they're just nowhere near.
I think I read like I think it was a few races ago that Abitol was said that the Renault Pro is like 50 horsepower down at least on the Mercedes and the Ferrari at this point.
And I get the feeling that the Honda actually will be better than the Renault.
Yeah.
that I don't know.
I think
You see, you look at the speed tracks, the Toro Rossos are always up there. Like, that can't just be stripping aero.
The one thing Honda has to fix is their reliability. Else, I think they do have a really good package.
Well, they have been quite reliable this year. I can't really remember many times Toro Rosso have gone off the chart. I think Red Bull have retired more than Toro Rosso this season.
The only
The
Honda
elements
retirement I can remember for engine was Australia.
yeah, like
can't remember.
actually,
Because
like,
Gasly retired from Australia.
in
with engine issues, but-
in race they have been reliable. Like once like the Hard is like on his 6th or 7th ICE at this point.
Jesus.
Yeah, they've had
Yeah.
other issues like in practice sessions as well as failed.
Yeah.
Although I think they've also been told by Red Bull they can just completely try and work on the engine to get it as like reliable and powerful as
Yeah.
possible. So they can basically just sacrifice this year,
Oh yeah.
which is why I think Gasly also took engine changes this weekend.
Yeah. Like that, you can definitely feel that they're trying as hard as possible to get the Honda a bit more reliable than it was before.
Yeah, they're trying to get the most competitive package for 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think we should we move on to the midfield?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
And,
and midfield was rather exciting today.
Yes, once again another massively tight midfield battle.
But wait, now can you just go back to the previous one just for like a quick second because I did find the actual document. Compared to everyone else, Honda has used 10 ICEs across both drivers, 9 turbochargers, 9 MQH, 8 MQKs, and then the electronic systems and such are pretty normal. But also they use so many of the ICE turbochargers and such that it's extreme. It's extreme.
Mm.
hardly up on 6 different ICEs being used this season. And we're only halfway in.
Jeez.
Well, I think speaking of sort of Renault, somehow Hulkenberg seems to keep pulling out great results.
Yeah.
He continued from his 6th place in Silverstone, got 5th here. Another massively solid performance.
Then held that Haas basically screwed up the entire strategy.
Yeah, I mean, Haas kind of got, like, I don't know whether they screwed themselves or they just got screwed by the weather.
Haas could have gone in 5th and 6th. They ended up with 6th and 12th or something like that.
I think they got screwed. I think they got
6th and 11th.
Yeah,
they got screwed by the safety car.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went on to Inters and suddenly it was dry again. Then,
Yeah.
which they should have got the 5th and 6th. They had
It was actually brilliant from Grosjean to get back up.
Yeah,
It's so sad
He
because
was so happy.
because
He did.
Magnussen looked to be doing so well before the rain. It's just everything fell apart after that.
Yeah.
So,
Max was basically just on his own, like in P6. Just like, don't mind me, just like bringing home the points.
Grosjean on a friend's interview, he was so happy. He had like, I don't think I've seen him smile that much this season. He was like, oh, I was every time I was overtaking someone, I was shouting in my car because I was very happy.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just nice to see. It really is nice to see.
Yeah.
I think Haas are settling as like they're taking an edge over the midfield.
Yeah.
So, like,
Now, Grosjean spoke to French. Magnussen spoke to Danish. He was extremely disappointed. Like he felt like Hulk could have been so much better. He could have been up there ahead of Hulkenberg, but it just wasn't.
That's the thing in midfield. It's far less
It's
like
so tight this season. One
Yeah.
mistake, and you could end up going from 5th down to like 14th. It's so
Definitely.
tight.
Yeah.
Well, I did find Hulkenberg's team radio message quite funny when 2 of the cars in front of him basically ran each other.
Oh
And
yeah.
he just basically went,
Whoop.
cheers for that.
Whoop! Thanks for that. And he was also.
it's just a lovely feeling. It's happened to me before on that
Yeah.
sim racing. It's very nice.
It's just when you see like 2 or 3 of the cars ahead of you, like, hey,
well, thank you.
see ya.
See you later.
Just like I think I've seen after race. There was a nice gesture, Renault with the 2 stars on the front wing, for France winning the World Cup.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
But these, like, I didn't know it took so long to convince the English factory team and the FIA to get it on the car. It was mad, apparently.
Oh,
Really?
there you go.
They had
Yeah.
to struggle to get the stars.
Yeah. Actually, funny enough, the funny thing is
You're right
that
there, Lambert, having a little sing to yourself.
Well, it's La Marseillaise, you know.
actually one of the things about the running car was that they ran 2 different front wings this weekend. Hulkenberg had a new version of had a new front wing, while Sainz had an old version.
Sainz with a tough race again, getting a penalty, I think.
He got a 10-second penalty for overtaking under safety.
What happened? Like, what went through his mind?
Let me put it like this: it could be worse. You could have a virtual safety car come out, and then not slow down for it and overtake 3 cars.
Yeah.
That happened today in other series. Just saying.
I think the other standout group from the midfield was Force India again. They just
decent.
The 3rd race in a row, they've just kind of gone under the radar and then just appeared in like 6th and 7th.
They're a
recovery
good
drive
team
from
who
Ocon.
know how to get results.
Yeah.
I realised I cut off Blackwall.
I said nice recovery drive from Ocon, going from 15th to 8th, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good
Nice,
drive.
nice drive.
Finishing only
Very
just
nice
behind
drive.
Perez, who started 10th. So
Sadly,
drive.
he had a bit of an incident when the rain came in front of the Mercedes stand, I think.
oh yeah, he did spin.
Spun and then threw a lot of dirt on the track. Well done. That's a nice way to disorient the
Also,
driver.
Just leave your mouth on the track by digging 2 massive grooves.
Can I just say congratulations to one driver who kind of went unnoticed, like until like late after the race.
Is it Brendan Hartley?
Exactly.
Yeah, I was trying to bring that up.
Got another point. Also, props to Ericsson for getting
It's just
2.
like the mad races. Hartley's just appeared. Like like Baku was quite mad. He appeared in 10th. Germany was a mad finish. Appeared in 10th.
He's used to kind of a madness and like races seeming longer than they are. So
Mhm.
he has that. He knows he doesn't have to pound. He don't have to attack right now. Just wait for madness to ensue and just catch it. Basically, just stroll
Just sit
by
there and
him.
watch everyone else fly off the track around him.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, you're gone, bye.
I think like he got lucky because obviously he had Leclerc and strategy well done. I mean, I was going to say the Williams, but the Williams were never going to end up.
Wait, Lance Stroll retired.
Yeah, both Williams retired.
Yeah,
When did
that's it.
Stroll
That's it.
retire?
Two
during the
laps
safety car.
out, like 2 laps after Sorokin.
Yeah,
I think it was.
I
during the
honestly
safety
don't
car
remember.
period.
Alonso retired as well. I didn't even notice that either.
Well,
Yeah,
he
one lap.
he DNF, but he was classified.
Yeah. I think that was the first Williams retirement since 2015.
Well, I would say the funny thing is that despite the fact they retired, they still probably got a better result than would have it. The pro still got a better result than they would have it all the cars if no cars retired.
I think the outcome is the same. It's 0 points for them.
Yeah. Another 0.
I feel sad for Sorokin because he'll probably end up being the only driver to get no points this season because that Williams is such a bad
Oh,
car.
the Williams is disgusting.
It's a boat.
It's such a bad car.
Well, I say a boat. It wouldn't have worked in the rain, but it's not even a boat.
It's just like a shit.
It's a plank. That's all it
Really,
is.
like it. They should just riff it up and start again, which I'm sure they've already done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that
But I
car.
think-
That car is going to the scrapyard.
Yeah. I don't think that'll be going to any museums, but
No.
I think that rounds up all the action from the race. I don't think we've missed anything else. I think it's time we'll go on to our race ratings. And since Lambrex loves this bit of the program so much, I think we'll let you start.
Oh well, thank you. 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Really, I think the first half was like slightly dead in terms of action, but really like full of tension. There was always lots of movement in the field, and then the second half was really tense and like loads of action and rain. It was just great, and like the drama is undeniable. Vettel crashing out and Hamilton winning the race. It's just exciting,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a great race.
Yeah.
Just really enjoyable to watch.
Another one.
Nice comeback from the German Grand Prix.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's going again, but
Well, there's talk it might not be. There's issues. Miami may not be on the calendar next year. Hockenheim could return.
hopefully.
But, that's
I mean-
rumours. We never know. It would be nice to see.
Germany's
I
it's
think
one
this
of
is the
those-
busiest it's ever been.
165,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For me, it's one of those that has to be on the calendar.
it
for me.
is. I know that.
Like Britain and Belgium and
like-
Yeah.
Italy, it has to be on the calendar.
I really don't care if it's at the Nürburgring as a Hungary, just as a German Grand Prix, really.
Oh, fully. Yeah, I love the
Yeah,
Nürburgring as
yeah,
well.
Yeah, like it's sad that the Nürburgring doesn't feel like it doesn't have the budget to actually host the Grand Prix anymore.
Yeah.
I believe half of what helps Hockenheim is the fact that it's owned by the region it's in, Baden-Württemberg.
Yes.
It's
correct.
is co-owner of the circuit, so they do pay a bit of to the event as well.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
it is apparently really expensive, way too expensive for them to hold. To give a good point, one of the things comes that you could go to 2 DTM races, both DTM races there is at the track each year both of them full weekend, access to a lot of things for the same price you can for a single day at F1 with F1.
Yeah. It's not great. But Blackwall, what was your race rating?
Well, I said it earlier on the Discord. I said 7 out of 10, but I think I'm going to go with 8 to do like Lambrex. A very good race, and yeah, nice comeback from the German Grand Prix. A very nice second part of the race, and Esteban did well, so that's a bonus point for me.
Fair enough. Simon, what about you?
8.5. Like
Oh.
the German Grand Prix is a race that comes and goes seemingly at this point, mostly because the Nürburgring doesn't want to pay, and there is this whole every single year thing apparently between the two, Hockenheim and Nürburgring. But Hockenheim does provide good racing. Seems to provide a lot of good racing, no matter the car type, somehow. So yeah, no, that it was exciting to watch. The rain spiced it up a lot, not to my complete what I liked, but yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah. Like Lambrecht said in the last episode, take cars to good tracks, you get good racing.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
I think I'll probably agree with the consensus. 8 to 8.0. It's a pretty good race. And I think that's where we'll move on to personal driver of the day. I know Lambrex has to go at this point, so
Yeah, I can quickly do my driver of the day.
yeah. If you want to just you can just put your race prediction for Hungary in the chat, and we'll read it out for you.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, so my driver of the day of the Grand Prix, perhaps unsurprisingly, Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a drive.
Yeah.
Showing his
I
class.
think there might be a bit of agreement on that.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he kicks on now. I think
Yeah.
getting back towards where he was. But,
Yeah.
but with that, I shall love you and leave you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Bye.
joining us.
That's alright.
Blackwall, your driver of the day?
I'm gonna head off to Germany, and I'm gonna go with Nico Hulkenberg.
Ah,
Solid drive.
yeah.
Drive.
Solid drive.
Consistency as well. Well done.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And Simon, what about you?
Can I go too? Because I feel like it's one that's
Yeah, you can go too. Yeah.
I'll say Hulkenberg as the one of them because just good driving. I don't want to say Hamilton as the second one most because it feels like he was basically let pass for the entirety of the midfield and it doesn't look spectacular. Like it may seem like hey he overtakes, but like he's basically let pass all the time until he gets up towards top 6.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then it takes a bit away of this spectacle when you see no midfield driver even trying to challenge him at all. Just go on, see ya.
Yeah.
The finish line.
I guess that's kind of the problem with the top
and
teams
with-
being so far ahead.
And so with the news that came out after qualifying, I think I'll give my second driver today to Van Dorn. Because I think he also had to slow down, and like he had a massive slowdown at some point. Managed to, I don't know what happened, but he managed to get up to like 12th, 13th.
I mean, Van
Finished
Dorn, like before the race, was having a weekend.
Oh yeah, no. There was a story that there's something inherently just wrong with Van Dorn's car compared to Alonso's.
Apparently, he doesn't have the same chassis as Alonso's car,
Yeah, there's something wrong because
which is kind of weird.
both Alonso's data and Alonso's self, but I was like, there is something inherently wrong with the car Van Dorn have right now. It's lacking something, which they can't figure out what is.
Yeah.
It could be a crack in the chassis, something with that, but yeah, no, continue. He basically had to slow down massively and has some kind of chassis issue. Good job getting to 13th despite being out of the points.
Exactly.
Yeah, well
And he technically beat Alonso.
Technically, the race result will say that.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna go a little bit different. I'm gonna give it to Brendan Hart, just for getting through it all and getting his second points of the season.
yeah, well
Yeah.
done.
Good solid drive, especially when he's under all this criticism about so many people replacing him either mid-season or at the end. This is going to be a good confidence boost for him.
Yeah.
Just before, I think no one talked about Ericsson during the whole race. But well done.
I
Well
think
done.
I just shyly mentioned when I mentioned Harley,
Okay.
like also props version for getting 9th and get so
Yeah,
points.
well done.
Yeah, that was another good
That
drive.
was-
Although that was like I think Harley Ericsson, so I think as I both was in this, they were a bit lucky with how everything turned out on the rain.
Yeah,
Although, can just
I guess you probably can't really work out how it's going to go in that.
one thing though, what are Toro Rosso thinking of with Gasly?
Oh, don't worry. It's wet in one corner. Gone to wet.
Yeah, it's wet at turn 6. Just like let's just put full wet on.
It's just
Yeah,
like I followed along a lot of the last time because my stream kept cutting out. So like also to see like what are you thinking, lads?
Yeah, I was watching a stream of the Sky broadcast, and Martin Brundle's reaction to seeing
Yeah.
Gasly was just like, "What? Why is he on the wets?"
Yeah,
But yeah, that was kind of odd to gamble. But I think that's where we'll round up our
Yeah.
review of Germany and move on to our predictions for Hungary. Magyar Negidic.
yeah.
Blackwall, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, why not? Okay, so do I just say pole position winner?
Yeah, just pole and race winner.
Pole position, I'm gonna go Sebastian Vettel,
Yeah.
which is something I rarely do. And winner, I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go Valtteri Bottas.
Mm.
I really want him
Interesting.
to do well. I want him to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be a struggle on a track that I don't really like, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Yes.
Maybe it'll be a mad race again. Simon, what about you?
It sounds cliche to me. I'll say the track suits Red Bull, but I think Red Bull is too slow in general. I think
Yeah.
the mix of engine and air. I think Ferrari has enough. So go Vettel for both pole and win. Simply because I think the Ferrari is just faster and better. Although I will say I think Mercedes will struggle against Red Bull, but I think Ferrari clear favorites for Hungary.
Yeah. I think I'll. Yeah, I think I'll also go Vettel. I think Ferrari will dominate Hungary. Maybe Red Bull could be there, but who knows?
Yeah.
And Lambrex, because he had to go, his prediction was pole Vettel win Verstappen, so that could be quite interesting.
Yeah.
But
could be
I
very
think
good.
that's well, we'll round it up for tonight, guys. Thanks for joining, and
No worries.
like and subscribe to the channel to keep up with us. Follow us on Twitter at the Agenda, and also follow our blog. Links will be in the description.
Follow us on
And,
our
say-
respective channels. Hello.
Yes,
Luckily.
follow all the Twitters. They will also be in the description below. And say goodbye, guys.
See ya.
Bye, I guess.
Bye.